that the percentage of eligible blacks who voted exceeded the percentage of eligible whites who voted for the first time in 2008, 2012. See, well, that's in Atlanta. Atlanta's very well. I'm talking about nationwide. You're likening this to the civil rights movement? Are you smoking something? My mother and father grew up in the Jim Crow South. You're telling me requiring people to have voter ID and to make sure that when you vote absentee, you are who you say you are, is the same thing as requiring black people who could not read or write to pass a literacy test? It's the same thing as black people whose grandfather could not vote to be subjected to a grandfather clause, meaning that you can only vote if your grandfather could. It's the same thing as a poll tax, making people who are broke and poor to pay to vote. It's the same thing. And it reminds me of the exchange that Joe Biden had with Charlemagne the God. Mr. McConnell, can you put it back up, please? Joe Biden tells Charlemagne the God, if you don't know whether or not you want to vote for me by now, you ain't black. How incredibly condescending. You don't vote for me, you're not a black person. You can't possibly feel that lower taxes will benefit black people. You can't possibly feel that vouchers will benefit black people. You can't possibly feel that a secure border will prevent unskilled workers from competing against black and brown unskilled workers and putting downward pressure on their wages. You can't possibly feel that way. You can't possibly feel that this Georgia law does not have a racist impact. You can't possibly feel that way. And what I'm going to do as a politician, says Joe Biden, is I'm going to call this law racist. I'm going to say all sorts of idiotic, insulting things, comparing it to Jim Crow. The media is not going to check it. The black politicians are not going to check it because they want black people to remain angry because they want the vote. Doesn't matter how stupid it is. Doesn't matter how silly it is.
I think today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly. I would strongly support them doing that. People look to them. They're leaders. Look at what's happened with the NBA as well. Look at what's happened across the board. The very people who are victimized the most are the people who are the leaders in these various sports.
The ones who are victimized the most are the leaders in these various sports. What the hell does that even mean? The ones who are victimized the most are the leaders of these sports. You mean LeBron James can't vote? Coach Greg Popovich can't vote? The leaders. Incredibly insulting.
Who are victimized the most are the people who are the leaders in these various sports.
Now, I know I get a lot of people who are Democrats who listen to the Larry Elder Show, and I know you guys voted for Joe Biden. Please tell me what that even means. Those most victimized are the leaders?
Victimized the most are the people who are the leaders in these various sports. And it's just not right. This is Jim Crow on steroids.
Charlemagne the God didn't say anything when Joe Biden insulted the hell out of him. Didn't say a word.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Didn't say anything. Just said, no, it's not about that. He didn't say, excuse me, how dare you tell me under what circumstances I am or am not a black person? Didn't even realize he was being insulted.
Well,
Thank you so much. That's really our time. I apologize.
You can't do that to black media.
I can't do that to white media and black media because my wife has to go on at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Now, listen to Mr. Charlemagne the God's response to that.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. He just insulted the hell out of you. just told you if you don't support me, you ain't black. And you just simply said it ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Really?
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
Had no idea you were just insulted. Just took it.